Welcome to Kickstarter Radio. I'm your host Lipstickpaddy and we're back in the park. This is New York. It looks so beautiful, doesn't it? This is Central Park. Now, late night chat. Finally my my throat is back after it. I don't know what the hell happened to me, but hey. No voice over the weekend to do this, but hey. No. You know, CMON doing a deal with Gamefound. When I first heard about this, I'm thinking, alright, yeah, exclusivity deal. They're going to bring their crowdfunding sites over to Gamefound. Yeah, I get it. Partly because Kickstarter have been kicking people's asses if they've got too many campaigns that have not been properly delivered. That's new CMON. They probably weren't even allowed to go to Kickstarter because they just have far too many games that have been not. It looks like they're in trouble if you ask me. I would be $1 in pledging every CMON product if I wanted to, because I'm at the most going concern company that I know of that's crowdfunding. That's just my opinion, but hey, you might have your own. That's okay. Anyhow, one thing I did not. I was like, I couldn't believe this, is the pre-order. Gamefound are allowing them to do a pre-order campaign. Now, if I'm crowdfunding and I pick Gamefound, I would be furious, angry. In fact, I would immediately go to Gamefound and take my upcoming crowdfunding game off their platform. Are you serious? My anger is just because I have empathy for what's going on here. It is disgusting what's going on here. Kickstarter prohibits pre-ordering because you are... It's not a shop. It's not a shop. When a game is crowdfunding, it is in development. It is in its weakest period that it'll ever be. It has a short window to impress people so you can back the project. That's it. It's not in the presence of other people beyond that. And Kickstarter does a fantastic job of curating that, so there's not a flotilla of incredible Kickstarters all delivering in 1 week. They have a cadence to pack these out so that you get your first shake on crowdfunding, so you're not going up against too many projects. But when you've got a pre-order, that doesn't stop, does it? That is a continuous threat to your game that's crowdfunding. And more or less, with this deal that they have with Gamefound, they will always be a live project that is campaigning, because it is a pre-order. It is disgusting. Moreover, when it's a pre-order, they don't even have to tell you how many backers or how much money it is either. It's all top secret, isn't it? And I'm telling you now, for any developer who wants a crowdfunding site, you boycott Gamefound. 100%. Because if they're throwing pre-orders out there, people come to Gamefound, and what are they going to see? These pre-ordered games from CMON that have not delivered. It's been pre-ordering for a year. They're not even going to know about it. See, but I've got a Kickstarter. I didn't know about it. Why is no one talking about it? Because it was on Gamefound months ago. It's just a pre-order now. And you know, I've always been suspicious of Gamefound when you go to Gamefound for live projects and they show you stuff that's not live, that it's late pledging. Why is that? Are they paying for that? What's going on under the hood with Gamefound? Well, suspicions aside, you know, because if you go to Kickstarter, you're not going to see Kickstarter stuff. If you click tabletop games from a Kickstarter, it'll show you live games, right? Oh, look at this little squirrel. How domesticated. You want a nut from me? Or are you complaining about vegetarians and vegans stealing all your nuts? Is that what it is? Are you chief campaign a little squirrel? I thought I'd bring a bit of a little bit of comedy in this really annoying late night chat that I'm talking about. Ooh. Because you're just not going to get a fair shake. It's blowing you away. It really is, the competition. It's like you go to Gen Con and you go in the area of crowdfunding games that are either upcoming or are live on Kickstarter now. So they've got the game in front, so you can have a look at the prototype. And next to them is CMON with a pre-order in that crowdfunding site. And everyone would be complaining to Gen Con that is not crowdfunding. They would kick them out of that Gen Con area because it's not crowdfunding, it's pre-order! And if you go in the hall in Gen Con, people will say, we have sold out of our game, but you can pre-order at our website. Why has CMON not got a website? I'll tell you why. Because if they do a website, they have to track all of their tax codes, don't they? But if it's on Gamefound, that is going via the third party. At Gamefound, they're holding the money. They are the escrow system in between them. So in regards, they can hold that pre-order on Gamefound. So when they do their tax returns, they can say that money is not profit because we've not brought it in yet, so they can balance their books. Can you see how they're working with this pre-order shite? They are basically gaming the system so they don't have to pay tax. They are so corporate shills, it's disgusting. And they're doing it to the detriment of Gamefound. Gamefound shouldn't even allow this. To really think Gamefound wanted to come... Sorry, if CMON comes to you with a deal, you've got to ask yourself, what is CMON getting from this deal? Because it's a really good thing for Gamefound. What is CMON getting for it? It's simple, isn't it? They are like money laundering in a way to evade tax. That's what they're doing. Now, my wife, an accountant, she told me directly about this, that you can do this, hold the money in a third party, because if you've got a loss coming up, you can then shuffle it from that third party and bang, that loss is hidden. Because if you show profit on 1 year, you get taxed, but if you put that profit on a loss, there's no tax. And you look good for that year, you see. So it's like, it's a win-win-win if you do it. So yeah, it is fairly whack. And you know what another thing is? They have the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, don't they? China is in a huge problem with its money problems. They want their money in Gamefound, and guess what? They could probably put it via Gamefound into a Swiss bank account to get away from the Chinese banking system, which is rotten to the core. So there's a lot of accounting nonchalance going on with CMON, which is bad practice. It is bad practice. And having a pre-order on a crowdfunding site like Gamefound is also bad practice. And for me, I mean, you know, I'm a backer like you, right? It's not for me to boycott. I'm not putting anything on crowdfunding. It's for people to boycott Gamefound and simply put it on Kickstarter, because what they're doing is outrageous. It is. You're going to be constantly up against these pre-orders from CMON, and they are going to be they're going to pull people's eyes to you, away from your campaign. And you know, for all the faults that Kickstarter has, they're all first world problems at the end of the day. They still have great campaigns where you can see much. You can talk to the dev directly with Ask a Question. It's manageable. You might give it 7 out of 10 for what they do, but they're improving. Maybe they've got it to 8 with a 10 now with their tabs. They've got rid of the pledges now on the right, so you can see more of it full screen. Fantastic Kickstarter. You've gone to 9 out of 10. They're innovating. Great. There's no reasons not to go to Kickstarter now. Get away from Gamefound. It stinks. That practice stinks. Get it onto Kickstarter. Yeah, use Pledge Manager for Gamefound if that's what you want to do. Most people like that. But jeez Louise, man, why would you want to go on Gamefound now when they've got that competition that it stinks? Would you put your crowdfunding booth in the crowdfunding booth with CMON in the crowdfunding booth with the pre-orders? You would be like, have you seen this? CMON with the pre-orders in the crowdfunding thing. Outrageous. It stinks. I don't know what you think about this, but for me, I think it's rotten to the core. I've not got a CMON game. I always think that they are the EA games of Kickstarter, and they nickel and dime everybody. They make a heap of cash from everybody because they give them stuff they're not even going to use. It's just plastic and plastic and plastic and plastic in boxes. Like, for example, if you on YouTube put Kickstarter unboxing, I like to look at unboxing once a week. I'll look at unboxings. The first thing YouTube shows me every time I do this is a Zombicide Black Plague unboxing, and it's this guy with about 15 boxes that he ordered, and I bet you he's not used more than 2 of those boxes when he plays that game. They just have so much filler content. It's disgusting. Oh man. And you know, the whole thing about pre-ordering stuff, it's so different to crowdfunding. It's true.
Oh yes, so just walk around that way.
And you know that crowdfunding, that pre-order is the retail you're pre-ordering. There's no reason to pre-order it. You'll get free shipping off Amazon if it's so popular anyway. Just have a look at the Zombicide stuff. It's all of the stuff that they had that it's retail. It might be limited retail, but if you follow them when they start to ship, it'll be at retail and you can pick it up then. You know what board games are like at retail. If they sell out, they sell out. You know, they're not always there. There's second printing, third printing, and stuff like this. So, yeah, why don't CMON have their own website? Because it'll be taxed in their country. That's it. Why are they using Gamefound? It's an SKU third-party system like PayPal, and they can pay it into a different bank account that's not based in Hong Kong. And then we can just siphon that money to our account when we need to float, so that the government doesn't come looking again because they keep auditing our company because we have too many products that haven't been created yet. Yet we've took the money for it. Yeah. So for me, a $1 pledge strategy for CMON is always the way, because when is it going to ship? You know, they've got so many games that haven't shipped yet. And more often than not, you see it at retail before they've even delivered it from Kickstarter. And the retail price is cheaper than the Kickstarter. Like, the $1 gives you that less risk with CMON. But I'll tell you now, you won't see CMON on Kickstarter anymore. That's what I think. Unless Gamefound book their ideas and boot them off, they're probably going to back a kit. But for me, it's this disgusting disgusting, and I would be angry if I had a game coming out on Gamefound. I would be lifting that off and somehow getting it to Kickstarter. Oy. That's a nice picture, isn't it? So what do you think about this? Is it just a who cares? Or are you like me? Angry. It's definitely fishy what they've done. And my accountant wife can see through the BS and start to paint a bigger picture of why these exclusivity deals are being made. And I'll tell you now, it stinks. It's bad business practice, and we need to be aware of it, and we should call it out and get angry when it deserves it. Because I've got empathy for these companies that are crowdfunding, and dear me, if you go to Kickstarter, you won't have much competition. If you go to Gamefound, you're going to be shoved in there with pre-orders, and that's going to be competition. You'll be shoved in there with late pledges as well. Like, it's terrible. You know, when you go to Gamefound, you should only see crowdfunding live games. You should go to a different page if you want late pledge, or a different page if you do want to go to these pre-order nonsense. But to shove it all in the same thing takes away from the retail space, from the presence of what is backing. So, for me, Gamefound's in trouble. They let this pass, let it continue. Less companies are going to go to them. Kickstarter will get the win. It'll all go back to Kickstarter, and they'll get the win. That's it. They're in trouble. So yeah, look at more squirrels. How many squirrels are in this park? I keep feeding them nuts and they will multiply. Alright, there you go, peeps. That's my nightcap chat. I am here with my cherry pepper. Dr. Pepper cherry. There we go. I always leave it in the fridge for 2 hours to make it super thick on the way to freezing. Why does Dr. Pepper cherry take 2 hours in a freezer? If you put Coke in, it's 30 minutes. Like, Coke would be a frozen ice ball if you left it in for 2 hours. But I don't know what's in Dr. Cherry. Dr. Pepper cherry. Some kind of antifreeze. Play it well, I'm giddy. Anyway, peeps, if you got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please give it a like and think about sharing it out to anyone who you know is thinking about going on Gamefound, because they need to know this new angle and why they should be worried, if not completely warned away from going to Gamefound. That's right. You know, my thoughts and my wife are opinions, of course. Your opinions may differ. That's okay. All opinions are valid. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, with a Nightcap Chat, these special programs that always talk about issues with crowdfunding that are in my mind. So wanted to get this video out to you over the weekend, but obviously I was sick, but finally got it out now that I'm back on my feet and you can hear my anger in my voice again. It's true. So thank you again for watching, and this little nice stroll through this park, which if I ever go to New York, I'll certainly make it my first port of call. So thank you so much for watching. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.